Here I am again with my 1997 Toyota Camry 6-cylinder, and this time my rear oxygen sensor needs to be replaced, so I'll be showing how to do that today. The first thing I have to do is find the rear oxygen sensor. So I'm starting from the engine and the exhaust manifold, coming back along the tailpipe. We come to the catalytic converter, I believe that is, and then right behind that you can see where there's a device plugged into the tailpipe right there, and that is the rear O2 sensor. The connection goes around and goes up into the car right there. You can see through that grommet. So we're going to have to disconnect this inside the car. So we'll go inside the car to find out where that's connected and get that disconnected. In order to get the best view of the oxygen sensor attachment inside the car, I'm going to go ahead and move the front driver's seat, all the way forward. So then I'm going to come in the rear door on the driver's side, and up under the driver's seat I think is where I'm going to find my connection. So these are heater vents, I believe, coming out, and then up under there is the connection for the O2 sensor right there. So it's above the right heater vent, and I believe the instructions that you'll read in the shop manual tell you to just remove the front seat so that you can get to that, but I'm going to try to do it without removing the front seat. So I'm just going to pick up this piece of carpet and put my left hand on the connector part that stays in the car, and my right hand, I'm going to press this tab. You see this on the very far right of the connector, there's a tab, and that's the only one. So with my right hand, I'm going to press that tab in and then wiggle out the connector with my left hand. There you go. So there it is, loose, and this is the connector that goes to the O2 sensor. So now we should be able to go under the car, pull the grommet out, and pull this through. Just make sure it's free and there's no tie wraps or anything. Okay. I'm gonna put some PB Blaster brake-free compound on the threads here, just to loosen it up a little. Now when we reinstall the new one, we'll put some compound on the threads to help it break loose the next time, so remind me to put that on there. While the solvent is working on the actual O2 sensor, we'll check the cabling and see if we can get it loose while we're waiting. So you've got this clip right here that's holding it to the chassis. You just want to push in those legs, and then it should pop right out. Okay, so there it is, out of there. If it's too much for your thumbnail, you can get a pair of needle nose pliers probably. And then here's where the O2 sensor goes into the car, and this is just a grommet. It's a rubber grommet, so you can just pull it loose from the chassis. Just give it a good tug. You may need to go all the way around it and break it loose from the edges by pushing it towards the center like that. And then just give it a good pull, and it comes right out. Here's what it looks like when it's out. And then we're just going to pull the connector from the car that we disconnected earlier. The carpet may be in the way, but just kind of give it a pull, and there it is, loose. Get the whole cable out. All we need to do now is just unscrew the O2 sensor from the pipe, and we'll have this whole assembly free. I don't have the right size open end wrench for this, so I'm just going to use a crescent wrench and adjust it down really tight to the bolt. Let's put it on there. See if I can just turn this out. Okay, so it's giving me a little resistance, so I'm going to get a pipe and put over the handle of the wrench to give me a little more leverage. Now I've got this pipe over the end of the handle. That'll give me some more leverage to try to break this loose. When you're doing this, make sure you're turning it to the left. Sometimes I forget. Okay, and that just rounded right off, so that did not work. I'm going to try it with the vice grips. If you are going to use the vice grips, you want to get them on there really tight, so just as tight as you can get that. I can still use my pipe for leverage. I might try a hammer. Or maybe even a bigger hammer. I think the next thing in our repertoire to try is heat. I think I'll put a torch on there and see what happens. Now, when we heat this solvent may burst into flames, so we need to watch for that and be ready with a rag or something to beat it out, or a fire extinguisher. There we go. So you can use a pipe over the vice grip handle to get it. There it goes. I think the key in breaking loose a stubborn bolt is just to never give up. As you're turning this to get it out, of course, this cable is twisting around, so you may need to rearrange it as you go. And if you've heated this, it's still a little warm, so just be cautious. Okay, so there's the O2 sensor. Not in very good shape now after all it's been through. So let's get the new one out of the box and see what it looks like. I got a Denso oxygen sensor because I was told not to get Bosch, that they were junk. So I don't know, but that's what I read on the internet. So I got a Denso online, and it was actually cheaper than the Bosch. So here's the new sensor. Hopefully it'll look a whole lot like the old one. And we'll just hold them up next to each other, and except for age and wear, they're identical twins. So that's really a relief. So we're going to need to get this insulating rubber hose off of the old one and put it on the new one, I believe. And so I'm going to do that. The new one came with the grommet, so that's nice. So we can use the new grommet. So I'm going to take this out from under the car and see if I can move the hose over. I want to keep this little clip here in order to reinstall the cable in the car, but I can't undo it. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut it loose, and then I'll use a regular tie wrap to put it back on. It's fairly sturdy. So I'll just pull this piece on through. Some pliers. Like that, okay, and so I'll cut off this little bit here. So I've still got this little clip to go back up in the car, and I'll just slide a regular tie wrap through the little slot there when I get ready to do that. I get this insulating rubber hose for use on the new one because it just has this little thin thing. So I'm going to first try to take this clip off of the grommet. When it comes to a hot area like that. So that's off. And the grommet is loose. So since I don't need the old one or its connector, I'll just compare these connectors real quick to make sure they're identical, and there they are with the clocking matching and everything. So pretty safe to go ahead and destroy the old one. So I'm just going to clip the end off of it so that I can get the grommet off and get the hose off. Now the hose is press fit on this end, so I may have to cut it, or I may be able to just tear it out. I think I'll just cut it so I don't have to fight with it. So now I've got this insulating hose. However, you may have already thought of this, I can't just slide it onto the old one because of this connector here. So what I'm going to have to do is cut myself a piece the right length, and then I'll have to slice it down the side to get it to go on. And as recommended in the instructions, I will use electrical tape to hold it on there. So I've got it free here, and I'll just rip down the side of it like that. You can see I just kind of scored it with the knife, and now it's just pulling right open where I cut it. Okay, and then I'll just take this and wrap it around the new piece, like so. Seems to be clinging on there pretty good. I may not even need any tape, but I'll probably use it anyway. Okay, so here I have this insulating piece of hose on here, and I need to secure it, so I'll use tie wraps on the one end, I think. Okay, so now let me this old one out of the way. I've got some electrical tape here, and I'm going to just wrap it around this piece of hose that I'm using to insulate the wires. Just to keep it closed, to keep it on the wires. Alright, and then to keep the hose right up on the oxygen sensor here, I'll just tie wrap this onto the little metal end of the oxygen sensor. Get it good and tight. Trim that off. Okay, so now we have an insulated wire going from the muffler to the inside of the car. The new sensor should come with this copper compound that you'll put on the threads before you screw it in. You don't want to get it in the oxygen sensor, so just make sure you put it right on the threads. Try not to bump it or mess with it. Make sure you have this compression washer here. Oh, and you also don't want to get it on your finger. So we'll just squeeze this out on the threads. And what this will do is keep it from seizing up for the next person that has to replace the oxygen sensor. I'm not sure if the last person did it or not. I had an awful time getting that one out. But since the next person may be me, I certainly want to do this. Okay, so just coat the threads really good. Make sure it's down in the threads. And you can just use the package to smear it around a little. That looks fairly well coated. Alright, and we're ready to screw this back into the tailpipe. So we'll go back under the car. So we'll carefully thread the oxygen sensor into the hole here. You don't want to get it cross-threaded. And these threads are a little gritty, so you just have to kind of take it really easy. The other thing you'll notice is as you twist it, the cable's getting twisted, so it's wanting to untwist. So go ahead and feed the cable around the way that it wants to go. This way, so that as you twist it in, the cable doesn't get all twisted up. It looks like I've got that threaded well. If it goes in easily with your fingers, then you can be pretty sure you've done it right. Then I'm going to use a crescent wrench just to tighten it. Now if you have a torque wrench and you have the torque specifications, that's fantastic. Go ahead and torque it to the factory recommended torque. I don't have that, so I'm just going to tighten it down until I've crushed that compression washer in there. And that feels plenty tight. So once that's done, I'm going to need to route it back into the hole. Let's see if we can see that. Okay, so there's the hole. So I'm going to come from the sensor around here, and here's my point where I clipped it. I'm not going to put the clip on there until I've already got the grommet in the hole, because that would keep me from being able to move around well and to manipulate the cable. So first I'm going to feed this cable, the end of the cable, into the hole. Okay, there's the hole. There's like some floorboard material right here. See, watch how my finger goes. Just go down and in. Okay? If you try to just press straight in, instead of going down as soon as you get in the hole, you'll just hit that board material. You won't go anywhere. So, we're going to take the connector and just kind of press it up in there and press that floorboard material out of the way. And then press it kind of down and in. There's some resistance there. So we're going to have to get past that. Okay, I'm going to go inside the car and see if I can reach that hole and see what I can do. Alright, so back inside the car you can see the two heater vents here. And what we want to do is pull the carpet out from under the vents to give our hand the most room to get up under there. We're just going to reach straight over from the vents and feel around. Just a little bit forward and up from the floor, and we'll find the connector where we poked it in the hole. Actually, I just found the connector that we installed. Okay, so that's wonderful. Okay, and it's going to connect to this connector, which is mounted to the chassis. But we're not going to connect it yet because we need to go ahead and get the grommet installed. So we'll go back under the car now. So you can see we've got the cable installed, and we'll just go ahead and push the rest of it up in there, up to the grommet. You can see the grommet there. So the grommet, we're going to kind of need to fold it up with our fingers. Spin it in half like that. Okay, we've got it kind of folded in half. We're just going to poke it into the hole, the entire grommet, like that. Okay, and then we're going to pull it back out to lock it into place. And this may require some pushing from inside the car, but looks like it's fitting into place. So you want to just lift up on that lip so it locks in the hole. So go around it with your thumbnail and just kind of pull it out so that it's locked in the hole. Okay, and that looks pretty good. I'm gonna let that go just like it is. Okay, so now we can attach the cable right here to the chassis clip. So we'll get our clip that we saved and a tie wrap. So with the clip, you can see where it has a screw. We just want to take the tie wrap and stick it through there like that. Okay, and then we'll insert this part into the chassis. Like this. I think I may have gotten that on the wrong side, but that's okay. And then we'll just go ahead and attach the tie wrap. Okay, so we've got the tie wrap there around the clip, and I'll just trim off the excess. Alright, so the outside part of this job is finished. We've inserted the O2 sensor and tightened it good, and then we've tie wrapped the wiring bundle to the chassis, and we've got the grommet installed in the hole. So all we need to do now is go back inside the car and connect the connector. Again, we're entering through the back seat underneath the driver's seat. Here's our wire that we just poked in from underneath the car. We got plenty of slack there. We're going to lift the carpet up, and we can see right here our connector that we need to connect to. This is clocked so that you can't get it wrong. Since I can't see it, I'm going to just experiment with how it goes. Oh, look at that. First time. Okay. So we connect our connector. You want to poke the carpet back down under the heater and over the heater where it was. And that's it. It's connected. A bit of a sad footnote on this job that while I was replacing the O2 sensor, I noticed that I have a leak in my exhaust. You can see where the gasket material has just corroded and fallen out. The check engine code that I got that made me think I needed to do my O2 sensor also indicated that there could be a leak upstream from the O2 sensor. So this leak is probably what was causing my check engine code. So when I crank my car back up, it's probably not going to go away. So I will not be making a video on how to fix this problem. I'll be taking this to the muffler shop. So too bad, huh?